1 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The International Day of Peace is being observed today. The President and the Prime Minister have called for fair and just settlement of Jammu and Kashmir dispute for global peace and security. The Economic Coordination Committee has approved 456 million rupees for the construction of 8 women facilities in the tribal districts. In Gaza, at least 44 more Palestinians have been martyred in the unabated Israeli attacks. And now the news in detail. The International Day of Peace is being observed today. The theme this year is Cultivating a Culture of Peace. This year marks the 25th anniversary of the United Nations General Assembly's adoption of the Declaration and Programme of Action on a Culture of Peace. The President Asif Ali Zardari says the world cannot achieve progress and development in the absence of peace, as wars and conflicts increase the problems and the miseries of the people. In his message on the International Day of Peace, he said, "We affirm our commitment to the principles of peace among nations worldwide." The President said, regrettably, Israel has unleashed a reign of terror in Palestine and is committing a genocide by killing thousands of people in Gaza. The President said the Hindutva-inspired Modi regime is committing grave human rights violations in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir and is persecuting Muslims and other minorities in India and depriving them of their fundamental rights. The Prime Minister Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif says Pakistan is ready to work with the global community to promote a more peaceful and inclusive world for everyone. In his message on the International Day of Peace, he said Pakistan strongly believes in fostering peace and stability in the region through dialogue, and it is essential to resolve the long-standing disputes to effectively achieve this end. Shahbaz Sharif said the foundation for any lasting resolution in the region hinges solely on achieving a fair and just settlement of the Jammu and Kashmir dispute peacefully through an impartial plebiscite and the relevant United Nations Security Council resolutions. For lasting peace in the Middle East, the Prime Minister said a peaceful resolution of the dispute, according to the United Nations resolutions and aspirations of the Palestinian, is the need of the hour. The Pakistan Army is playing a valuable role in United Nations peacekeeping missions and rendering its professional services in peacekeeping operations worldwide. Over 235,000 Pakistani soldiers have served in around 48 United Nations missions in 29 countries. Pakistan's involvement has been significant, with a notable presence in many peacekeeping missions. The world is cognizant of Pakistan's efforts of establishing peace at the global level. The Economic Coordination Committee has approved the export of 40,000 metric tons of sugar to Tajikistan. The ECC, which met in Islamabad with the Finance Minister Mohammad Aurangzeb in the chair, also approved the export of 0.1 million metric tons of surplus sugar. Besides, the committee approved technical supplementary grant worth 456 million rupees for the construction of 8 women facilities in the tribal districts. The Central Development Working Party has approved 12 development projects worth 187 billion rupees. The approval was given at a meeting of the Central Development Working Party in Islamabad with the Minister for Planning and Development and Special Initiatives and the Deputy Chairman Planning Commission S.N. Iqbal in the chair. Out of these, 6 projects worth 19 billion rupees have been approved by the Central Development Working Party Forum, while the Forum has recommended 6 projects worth 168 billion rupees to the Executive Committee of the National Economic Council for its consideration. In Gaza, at least 44 more Palestinians have been martyred in the unabated Israeli attacks. The martyrdom toll of Palestinians in the Israeli aggression on Gaza enclave since October 7 last year has now risen to 41,272. In Lebanon, at least 14 people have been killed and more than 70 others injured in the Israeli strikes on Beirut and its suburbs. According to Lebanon's health ministry, the toll is expected to climb as rescue teams are still working to search for and retrieve survivors. In Sri Lanka, voting is underway to elect the ninth executive president of the country for a period of 5 years. 38 candidates are contesting the elections, whereas about 17 million voters are eligible to vote. These are the first presidential elections after the country went through its worst ever economic crisis since 2022. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.